Hello everyone. Welcome to episode 14 of Show Me How It's Done. This is a very appropriate number since we're going to be making a Valentine's card in anticipation of February 14th. Now, most Valentine's cards are very typical in the pink and reds that they use. However, today I wanted to think outside the box and maybe make a non-traditional Valentine's card. So today's card is inspired by the book that my boys love to read called The Wonky Donkey. And if you haven't read it, go ahead and give it a try. It's a really random book. I would never have picked this one off the shelf for them, with a very stinky and kind of ugly looking donkey, but they love it and they love the song that comes with it. So I decided to pull in the Darling Donkey stamp set, which is still part of our celebration promotion. You can earn this for free with a $60 order this month, and then it's gone. But I decided to pull this in and make a Wonky Donkey card for you. So let's get going. Here is what we're making. This adorable little slim fold card. And he's, of course, got a little rose in his mouth, and I just said, to a wonky donkey, and then inside you can write all sorts of love notes that you want. Now, this card can be redone any way you want. You can add flowers, you can add hearts, you could add anything in the side instead of a sunshine, but I wanted to make something that could not only maybe be a Valentine's card, but it could just be a thinking of you card or a happy birthday card, but we're going to use it for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to use some non-traditional colors and just a really fun way for you to bring a smile to a friend's face or a loved one's face. So let's get going. To make our slimline card, I need to give you this little disclaimer. It will not fit in one of your regular envelopes. So you need to go to the dollar store or Staples and get one of these long legal paper envelopes. There you can just grab a ton of them. They're super cheap, and this is what you're going to need to put this card inside. Okay, it won't fit in one of our regular card envelopes, but those envelopes are very accessible, so I hope you're okay with this. All right, so to start with, we need some soft suede cardstock. You're going to cut this at 7 inches by 8.5. And then on the 7-inch side, put a score mark at 3.5 inches right down the middle. And we're going to fold this in half to make our card base. Now to add some layers to it, we will be cutting a couple other pieces of cardstock. However, we're not going to attach those quite yet. Okay, so just put your card base aside, and these two you can cut, and we're going to attach them together right away. So I first started with a piece of Balmy blue, and this one is going to measure 3.25 by 8.25, and a piece of Pacific Point, which is going to measure 3 by 8 inches. These two you can go ahead and attach together with any sort of adhesive you have on hand. You can use our snail, seal, tape, whatever you have. Glue works too. If you just have a glue stick, that'll be just fine. Okay, but just attach those two pieces together, and then we're going to start building the rest of our card. Whew, not wanting to come off. My fingers may also be a little frozen still. It's -41 with a wind chill here. Judith, I hope it's warmer for you. Everyone else is in Edmonton with me in our -41°C day. And of course, I have a dog who still needs a walk because she likes winter. All right, so here we go. We've got our card layer that we're going to work off of. The easiest thing to do is to work from left to right. So we're going to start with our sun. So to make my sun, I am using a bunch of our stitched shapes, okay? So I have cut the second smallest stitched circle. This is in the Daffodil Delight color. And then I have also cut myself out some stitched triangles. I layered a couple of them up for you so you can see, but Here we go. Let's sort them. You're going to need 3 large yellow triangles and 4 large mango? Yes, mango melody triangles. And then 3 small mango triangles and 4 small daffodil triangles. Okay, so that's quite a bit. Once you've cut them all out, you can go ahead just like I'm doing right now and layering them up so that your little triangle is inside the opposite color. All right, and you can of course use whatever colors you choose, but in the end, you basically need 4 of one set, 3 of the other. That's how we're going to make this card, okay? So we're gonna start by doing our 3 yellows here, and they are getting attached just with some sort of flat adhesive. So if you have tape, if you have glue, this is what you're using for these 3 pieces. Our other ones are all going to be using dimensionals, so you'll want to make sure to have those on hand as well, okay? So sometimes what I like to do before I actually lay everything down is just kind of eyeball where I think things will go. So I probably shouldn't have taken that adhesive off quite yet, but that's okay. We'll be fine. And I'm just going to kind of gently put these down as if they were staying there. Does that give me enough room to showcase some of the other pieces? Yes, it definitely does. I can see them all the way around the perimeter. I'd have a good amount of space for my sunshine. Okay, so then you can start attaching. I like to start with this middle guy here, and he just sticks straight towards the card middle. And then these 3, you can move them together if you want, but don't do it too much because we do have another layer coming on top of them. So just add teeny tiny bits here and there for fun, like that, okay? And then with some dimensionals, we're going to add some detail with our mango triangles. So just put a couple dimensionals on there. Some of them we will end up cutting off, and that's okay. But at least this way you have some staying on your project. Okay, so just one layer of dimensionals, and you can start attaching them into the middle of your project. Okay, so keep them roughly the same plane as your other ones here. And it's just going all the way around. You're going to have lots of overlap, and that's okay. We're going to cut off any excess when we're done this. Okay, so we've got a fun little sun ray here. Now we need the circle. So you can use one layer of dimensionals if you want, but I like to pop it out even more than the second ray. So I'm going to put dimensionals down on my card, take those backings off, and I'm actually going to put a second dimensional right on top of those sets as well. So this gives it double the height of the other pieces on my project, and that'll really make it stand out when I put this in the center. Okay? Go. Oh, I guess you should have been tilted a little bit more. And just manhandle it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to cut all these random pieces that are poking out the back. Okay, I don't want those showing through on my card, so they're just going to disappear very quickly. Okay, like so. And then what you should be left with is a fun little sun icon in the corner of your card. Okay, and if you want, you can always go back and move pieces. You could add more triangles in, even some of these extra pieces if you wanted more dimension somewhere. I'm pretty happy with this. You want it to kind of look off-centered and fun, so the rest of your project will come together now. So for my letters, I used this amazing set. If you have the annual catalog, it's on page 178. It's called Playful Alphabet. And the reason I like it is because I don't just get one of each letter in the set. They give me doubles of my vowels and letters that are often doubled up, like P's and S's and T's. So it took me 2 passes through my Big Boss to be able to cut out all the letters I needed. Because I did end up needing, a few letters quite a few times, like the O's, but it was really, really easy for me to do. And another way to make your life easy, these are very tiny little letters. Instead of sitting here with each and every letter and putting adhesive on the back, glue or whatnot, I took our double-sided adhesive sheets and put some on the back of the yellow cardstock that I wanted to use. And this basically makes your yellow cardstock into a sticker for you. So I cut these down just into letter size strips. They come in 6 by 12 inches, but that way I wasn't wasting a bunch. I only have this much left, and I'm going to make another card. So between this last piece and this one, I'll have enough for my last card that I need to do. So this makes all of my letters here, and I've pre-cut them, into stickers that I can quickly and easily attach to my card. Now the card on the top, I said to a Wonky Donkey because it was very generic, but if it's a Valentine, perhaps you want to say to my Wonky Donkey because, they're your special someone. So we're going to do that. Your choice whether you attach your donkey now or if you're going to leave enough room, maybe just kind of cut him and have him set on your card so you know where he's going. I have mine pre-done for you. I stamped him on the Crumb Cake cardstock with a soft suede ink, and then I colored it with the light and dark Crumb Cake blends. My flower is the light Rococo Rose, and his stem and leaf are just the light, just jade. So that's how I colored him. Unfortunately, we don't have dies for this set, but he was really quick and easy to cut out, and you're probably only making a couple of these cards, so you should be okay. All right, so I just have him pre-cut and colored. I'm gonna set him on the side here so that when I start putting my letters down, I know what space I have to work with, okay? So my suggestion to you is put all of your letters on your card before attaching them. You want to make sure you have enough space for everything to fit. So I'm going to start with the Wonky because it's going to go right in this middle space. And you'll notice I didn't make those letters straight. You want to play with them. Have some fun. Make sure they're off-centered and giving you kind of a fun little vibe. Because, the Wonky Donkey, he doesn't walk straight. He has a stumpy leg. So, whoops, throwing things. So it's just kind of generic placement to make sure that you're not running into a problem like I just did right here with his tail. So I need to figure out how I can move my letters just a tiny bit over so my Y will fit in here. Okay, so there we go. Now it will fit. And you can go ahead and lay those ones down. So they've turned into stickers. So there's just a little backing on all of them that you'll take off. If you don't have nails, we do have a take your pick tool, which has a little stylus on the end. And you may want to look at getting that because it will quickly and easily just grab those pieces on the back for you. But I even find I don't need to use my nail that much. I can use just the pad of my finger for this. So very off-kilter, fun little letters like so. And then put your Y on. If your donkey's bothering you, go ahead and put him on dimensionals. Get him out of your way. side of your card. There we go. And now we're going to do my donkey word. So again, I just like to make sure it all fits on here. I'm going to set it down on the card. Make sure those letters are not straight. I'm very bad at making sure things are. There we go. That will fit perfectly. Put him on here. So this, as you can see, doesn't have to be a Valentine's Day card. I just thought with the rose in the little donkey's mouth, it kind of was a little romantic, but also very silly. So it can be for anyone in your life. They'll get a good laugh about it, especially if they have kids or have heard of the Wonky Donkey book, then they'll really get a kick out of it, I think. The fun thing with letters is you can also make any sort of word you want. Maybe you just want to say Wonky Donkey Love, or put just plain old Wonky Donkey on there. All right, so to my, I'm gonna make sure that fits up in the top here. Perfect. To my Wonky Donkey. There we go. So super fun. Once you have everything cut out and ready to go, it assembles very quickly. Last piece of the puzzle, you're going to want to put this piece on your card. I put dimensionals on there, and you're going to want a few because you need some support on this card. Okay, so put quite a few along here. Sorry, the seabed embossing folder has nothing to do with this card. It was just what I had my letters on. So don't get confused. All right. Lots of fun backings to take off. And then this can go on your card base, right on the front. Like so. And then I always like to have a little piece of paper to write on for the insides of my cards, because it's kind of hard to see anything written on a brown. So for the inside of my card, I went back to that Balmy blue and I cut a second piece at 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. And then I just grabbed white. So this one is 3 by 8. And I'm going to just put those on the inside of this card here for me to write on. And I can put a fun little message. You can also stamp more donkeys or something fun on there if you want. But I just like to be able to write a message to people and for them to be able to read it. So, there we go. So throw that in here. And my white piece as well. There we go. So really, really fun card. Great measurements if you're thinking, hey, I like slimline cards. You can always replicate this and make another sort of card. And then I did want to mention, if you're thinking, hey, I love the sunshine look, don't love the Wonky Donkey, this is another idea for you. This was a card that I did at my Fun Fold class last month. We made a W fold card here, but you could take this little sunshine kind of idea and put some sand in the bottom and maybe some seashells along here, and then you can just add a sentiment from that set too. So you could take this card, make it into a nice long slim line. I did use So Saffron and Rococo Rose for the Sunshine palette on this one, if you're wondering. But hopefully those are some fun ideas for you. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. If you're here in Edmonton with me, stay warm, don't freeze, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.